Billionaire CEO throws lavish party with his mistress. Unaware his pregnant wife took everything. She sat in the shadows of his glittering penthouse, champagne laughter echoing through rooms she'd paid for, watching the man she loved toast a future with another woman, while their baby kicked beneath her heart, and her lawyer's text glowed, "It's done." Welcome back, my wonderful family and friends. If you're tuned in and excited for today's story, don't forget to hit subscribe and tell me in the comments where you're watching from. Tomorrow, I've got another amazing story coming your way, and you won't want to miss it. Now, let's dive in. Serena Blackwell sat in front of the vast floor-to-ceiling windows, one hand cradling her pregnant belly, the other trailing across the cold glass as city lights reflected around her. 6 months pregnant, and her husband was throwing a party upstairs. Not for her, but for his mistress. Her phone buzzed. Rebecca Chen, her lawyer. "Documents ready. Are you certain?" Serena typed back. "Proceed." 8 months. That's how long she'd known about Damon and Vanessa. 8 months since she'd planned to announce her pregnancy and found them in his office instead, tangled together, laughing like Serena didn't exist. She hadn't confronted him. She'd called Rebecca Chen, the lawyer famous for dismantling unfaithful husbands, and spent 8 months building an airtight case. Damon thought she was stupid. The decorative wife who spent her days shopping, never asking questions about his business, his late nights, his business trips with Vanessa. He had no idea she'd graduated summa cum laude from Columbia Business School. That she'd worked in forensic accounting at Morgan Stanley. That she'd found every offshore account, every shell company, every illegal transaction he'd tried to hide. Another text. Phase 1 complete. Assets frozen. He'll notice in 47 minutes when the champagne bill bounces. Serena almost smiled. 3 floors above, Damon raised his glass to 100 guests. To Blackwell Enterprises. $20 billion in market value. Vanessa pressed against him in her red dress, and Damon felt alive. Serena had grown boring, always tired, always retreating to separate bedrooms. Vanessa made him feel powerful. His CFO, David, appeared. "Damon, we need to talk. The accounts are frozen. All of them." Damon laughed. "Impossible. Every account shows a legal hold. Court order. It's not just business. Your personal accounts, the trusts, everything." The call came seconds later. Rebecca Chen's voice, professional and cold. "Mr. Blackwell, this is Rebecca Chen, calling on behalf of Serena Blackwell. As of 10:47 p.m., the following actions have been executed. Fraudulent prenup invalidated, full asset transfer, emergency court orders." Serena, his quiet, passive wife, who'd apparently been planning this for 8 months. David pulled up emails. "Damon, she's documented everything. The offshore accounts, the shell companies, the trust fund you depleted." "What trust fund?" "Her trust fund. The $847 million you borrowed to build the company. She has the original documents. And your password was her birthday." The music stopped upstairs. The venue manager's voice. "Technical difficulties. Please exit." The party bill had bounced. Vanessa burst in. "Your wife's lawyers contacted me. They have photos, videos. I could lose everything. I can't be associated with you anymore. I'm sorry, Damon." She left. His mother called. "You used my estate to hide assets? My lawyers will be in touch." Click. Then Damon was alone. An email from Serena appeared. "You should have noticed." He opened it with shaking hands. Damon, by now you know what I've done. 8 months ago, I came to tell you about our baby. I found you with her instead. I went to the best divorce attorney in Manhattan. And I started paying attention. You thought I was too stupid to understand. You were wrong. I noticed everything. The offshore accounts. The shell companies. The illegal stock manipulation. You used my birthday as your password for everything. February 14th, the day we met. You never remembered our anniversary, so why would you remember that? While you toasted your empire tonight, I took it. Every hidden asset. The prenup you forced me to sign? Invalidated. Your controlling shares? Mine now. You're not broke. You still have your intelligence and ability to rebuild. That's more than you left me. Don't bother looking for us. Our child deserves better. By the way, I've covered tonight's party expenses. Consider it my parting gift. You should have noticed, Damon. You should have noticed your wife was pregnant. Goodbye. Serena. Damon read it 3 times, then laughed, a sound with no humor. His wife had just executed the perfect revenge while he'd been too busy celebrating himself to notice. If you discovered your partner's betrayal, would you confront them immediately or plan your response strategically? Drop your thoughts below. We'd love to hear how you'd handle this situation. The emergency board meeting convened at 6:47 a.m. Damon arrived hoping to control the narrative. Instead, 12 board members sat waiting, expressions ranging from concern to hostility. His mother sat at the far end, steel gray suit matching her expression. Damon. Jonathan Reeves, the lead director, gestured to a chair halfway down the table. Not the head. The demotion was deliberate. Please sit. Damon remained standing. This is a misunderstanding. My wife and I are having a personal disagreement, but it has no bearing on. A personal disagreement? His mother's voice cut like a scalpel. Damon, your disagreement has frozen $17 billion, triggered an SEC inquiry, and exposed this company to criminal liability. She slid a folder across the table. Serena's attorneys filed 40 pages detailing systematic asset concealment, stock manipulation, and fraudulent accounting. The entire board received copies at midnight. Serena is emotional, Damon tried. She's pregnant, hormonal. Serena Blackwell graduated summa cum laude from Columbia Business School. Patricia Chen, the financial auditor, interrupted. She worked at Morgan Stanley's Forensic Accounting Division. Did you know that? He hadn't. Serena never talked about her past. He'd never asked. Patricia continued. Mrs. Blackwell filing includes documentation that could only have been compiled by someone with extensive financial expertise. Jonathan pulled up a presentation. The prenup is invalidated. Mrs. Blackwell now has legal claim to 50% of marital assets, including your controlling shares. Those shares are mine. You built the company using capital from her family trust fund. Patricia's fingers flew across her tablet. You accessed her trust 47 times over 10 years. Total withdrawals: $847 million. Classified as household expenses but funneled directly into Blackwell Enterprises. Damon felt the room tilt. The trust fund. He'd forgotten about it. That money was invested. The returns were never disclosed to her, his mother said flatly. You violated your fiduciary duty. You lied. And you documented it in emails referencing borrowing from E's account. And she'll never check. Jonathan cleared his throat. We have 3 options. fight in court for years and face criminal charges, negotiate a settlement requiring your resignation, or accept Mrs. Blackwell's proposal. What proposal? Patricia turned her tablet around. An email from Rebecca Chen, timestamped 3:47 a.m. to the Board of Directors. On behalf of Serena Blackwell. 1. Serena assumes 52% controlling interest, effective immediately. 2. Damon retains 23% non-voting shares, steps down as CEO, may retain founder title with no operational authority. 3. All offshore assets integrated transparently. Full regulatory disclosure. 4. Serena appoints new CEO and executive team. 5. Damon's obligations. $10 million settlement, $75,000 monthly support, full health care. 6. In exchange, criminal complaints dropped. SEC cooperation provided. 7. Non-negotiable. 72 hours to respond. Respectfully, Rebecca Chen. She wants my company, Damon whispered. She already has it, Jonathan said gently. The shares transferred last night. This proposal is her being generous. I won't. Then you'll be prosecuted, his mother stated. The SEC is investigating. The IRS has flagged your accounts. Fight this and you'll lose everything, including your freedom. Patricia pulled up another document. Bank records, emails about creative accounting, contracts with shell corporations that don't exist, texts discussing how to hide assets during audits. She has enough to put you away for 15 years. Where's David? Damon demanded. Mr. Brennan resigned at 5 a.m. He's cooperating with Mrs. Blackwell attorneys in exchange for immunity. Damon sank into the chair. What if I don't accept? The board will vote to remove you, his mother said, and accept her proposal without your consent. The only question is whether you walk away with something or nothing. His phone buzzed. Unknown number. The 72 hours start now. Choose wisely. RC. I need to talk to her. To Serena. Mrs. Blackwell is unavailable, Jonathan said. Accept the terms or face prosecution. Those are your options. His mother gathered her papers. The vote is in 3 days. Consult your attorney, Damon, and find a therapist. They filed out until only Jonathan remained. Serena called me last week, he said quietly. Asked if I'd stay on as a board member. Said she valued continuity. He paused. She also asked about your assistant, your driver, the cleaning staff. Wanted to ensure their jobs were secure. Damon's throat tightened. Why tell me this? Because you should know who your wife really is. She's not destroying you out of spite. She's protecting herself and her child. And somehow she's still trying to protect your employees. Jonathan moved toward the door. You had something precious and treated it like garbage. Sign the papers. Damon sat alone in the glass-walled conference room, surrounded by evidence of his own arrogance. A news alert flashed. Breaking. Blackwell CEO embroiled in divorce scandal. Wife claims fraud, seeks company control. He pulled up Serena's contact. The number was disconnected. Email bounced. Social media deleted. Serena had erased herself from his reach completely. 68 hours remained. Tick, tick, tick. Serena paid for Damon's party even after everything he did. Was this the ultimate power move, or would you have handled it differently? Share your thoughts below. 68 hours became 24. Damon spent them in a hotel suite, drinking scotch and cycling through denial, anger, and the dawning realization that he'd lost everything. His lawyer, Martin Hutchins, was blunt. "Sign the papers, Damon. Mrs. Blackwell case would make a prosecutor weep with joy. Take the deal or spend the next decade in courtrooms and possibly prison." His publicist quit. Vanessa blocked his number. His mother's attorney sent a cease and desist. And Serena remained a ghost. Damon hired a private investigator who returned the retainer with a note. "Client has professional-grade security. Trail is cold. Stop looking." Now, with 6 hours left, Damon sat in Martin's office staring at the papers that would end his life as he knew it. "Sign here, here, and here," Martin said. "Mrs. Blackwell gets the company. You avoid prison. Everyone moves on. I lose everything. You keep $4.2 billion in shares, monthly income, and your freedom. That's not nothing." Damon picked up the pen. Put it down. Picked it up again. "What if I could talk to her? Explain." "Explain what?" "That you're sorry you committed fraud." Martin leaned forward. "Damon, I've been doing this 27 years. I've never seen someone in Mrs. Blackwell's position change their mind because their spouse suddenly had regrets. She's having my baby. Which is why she's not pressing charges. That child is exactly why she's doing this. Building a secure future where she doesn't need you." Damon couldn't remember a single conversation about the baby. Had Serena tried to tell him things? He'd been too busy to listen. The door opened. Martin's assistant, pale. "Mr. Hutchins, there's someone here." Serena walked in. Damon's breath stopped. She looked transformed. Sharp haircut, charcoal power suit, minimal makeup. She looked like she belonged in boardrooms. Like she'd always belonged there. "Serena." She addressed Martin. "I'm here to deliver something to Damon. 5 minutes." Martin left. Serena remained standing, one hand on her rounded belly. The baby kicked visibly, and something in Damon's chest cracked. "You came," he said. "I came to witness the signature. I want you to understand exactly what you're signing." "I understand. I lose my company."
"No." She looked at him with pity. "You lost your company when you decided your wife wasn't worth honesty. I just made visible what you'd already thrown away." Serena moved to the window. "Do you know what the worst part was? Not finding you with Vanessa. Not discovering the stolen money. Not even the fraud." She turned back, composure cracking. "The worst part was realizing you didn't notice I was pregnant. 6 months, Damon. I got bigger, moved differently, stopped drinking wine, threw up every morning for 12 weeks. And you never once asked if I was okay." Her hand pressed her belly. "You were so busy you didn't notice you were going to be a father." Damon's throat closed. "Serena, when were you planning to notice? At 9 months? During labor? When our child was born?" Her voice shook. "Or were you hoping I'd just handle it quietly? That's not fair." "Fair." Serena's eyes blazed. "You built an empire on my money. Hid assets in my name. Slept with your assistant while I ate dinner alone every night. And I'm being unfair." Silence stretched between them. "I loved you," Damon whispered, "when we married." "You loved the idea of me," Serena interrupted. "The beautiful wife who'd look perfect in photos and never challenge you. But you never loved me, because you never bothered to know who I was." She pulled an envelope from her purse. "That's a personal letter. Read it after you sign. Or don't." She moved toward the door, then paused. I didn't want this ending, Damon. I wanted you to notice, to care, to choose us. I'm choosing now. Please. I'll do anything. It's too late. I needed you 8 months ago, when there was still something to save. Her hand rested on the door handle. Now all that's left is paperwork and consequences. The baby. Let me be part of the baby's life. Serena's expression softened slightly. I would never take away your child. You're still the father. But you'll need to earn the right to be a parent. Show me you can be honest. Show me you can put someone else first. Show me you're capable of love that notices, that cares, that stays. How? Start by signing those papers. Take responsibility. Stop negotiating your way out of consequences. Be the man you should have been all along. She left, taking all the air with her. Damon stood frozen, then picked up the envelope. Inside, Serena's handwriting. Damon, if you're reading this, you signed. That takes courage. I don't hate you. You're going to be this child's father, and I want our daughter to have a father worthy of respect. The next months will be hard. You'll face scrutiny, humiliation, reckoning. You'll want to blame me. Don't. This is your chance to become the man you've claimed to be. I'm moving to Connecticut. If you want to be involved in our daughter's life, you're welcome to visit. But do the work first. Get therapy. Address your issues. Learn honesty. You can walk away and pay support, or you can choose to be present. Really present. Not the father who shows up for photos but forgets birthdays. The kind who notices. This baby deserves that. I deserved that. Maybe we can co-parent with respect. Maybe our child will have 2 parents who communicate, who put aside differences for something bigger. But that starts with you. With honest accountability. With changing. The question isn't whether I'll let you be involved. It's whether you'll choose to be the kind of person worth involving. I hope you make the right choice. Serena. P.S. It's a girl. We're having a daughter. I found out last week. She kicks like crazy when I play Mozart. I thought you should know. A daughter. Damon stared at the ultrasound Serena had included, his daughter's profile, tiny nose, sucking her thumb. He'd almost missed all of it. He looked at the papers. The signatures that would end his reign but maybe, just maybe, give him a chance to be someone better. Damon picked up the pen and didn't put it down. His hand moved across the pages, signing away his company, his control, his empire. Each signature felt like shedding skin, painful, necessary, transformative. When he finished, he pulled out his phone and typed to Serena's disconnected number. I signed. I'm going to be better. For our daughter. For myself. I don't know if you'll ever forgive me, but I'm going to earn the right to be her father. I promise. I'm sorry I didn't notice. Thank you for not giving up on me completely. The message failed, but writing it felt like something. Martin returned. I'll file these immediately. Mrs. Blackwell takes control tomorrow. Tell her I'm starting therapy tomorrow. And I'll be in Connecticut next month. I want to be there when our daughter is born. Martin's expression softened. I'll pass that along. Damon left into the Manhattan evening, the city glittering around him, smaller now, less like a kingdom and more like just a place. His phone buzzed. Unknown number. Connecticut is nice this time of year. Don't come empty-handed. Our daughter likes Mozart and chocolate ice cream. I eat it, she kicks. We have a system. There's hope for you yet, Damon. Don't waste it. E. Damon stood on the sidewalk, reading it 3 times, and smiled. It wasn't forgiveness, but it was a door left open. And he'd be damned if he didn't walk through it. Damon is facing real consequences, but also getting a second chance. If you were in his position, would you fight back or accept responsibility? What would you do differently? Let us know in the comments.
3 months later. The Connecticut house sat on 5 acres of rolling green, surrounded by oak trees. Serena had transformed it into something that felt like a home. Soft rugs, warm lighting, a nursery painted in gentle yellows with a rocking chair by the window. Damon stood in the driveway, holding chocolate ice cream and a gift-wrapped package, more nervous than before any business deal. This was his 5th visit. The first 4 had been awkward, polite. But he'd kept coming. Every other weekend, bringing what Serena mentioned in her careful texts, telling her about therapy with Dr. Marvis, about the hard work of understanding why he'd needed control, why he'd mistaken silence for contentment. The door opened. Serena stood there, hugely pregnant now, wearing a soft sweater over her rounded belly. She looked peaceful. "You're early," she said. "Traffic was light. I can wait." "Don't be ridiculous. Come in." The house smelled like cinnamon. Serena led him to the kitchen, where she'd been working, laptop open, documents spread, running Blackwell Enterprises from home while preparing for motherhood. Damon had watched from a distance as she'd restructured the company in 3 months. New CFO, cleaned up accounting, transparent offshore assets. The stock had climbed as investors recognized ethical leadership. She'd been brilliant. Watching her dismantle and rebuild his empire with surgical precision had been humbling and impressive. "Ice cream's in the freezer," Serena said. "She's been demanding this week." She patted her belly. "I think she's training for soccer. Or she takes after her mother." Determined. Damon set the package down. "What's this?" "Open it." She unwrapped a leather journal. "It's for her. For our daughter. Dr. Marvis suggested I start writing letters about my mistakes, who I was and who I'm trying to become. So she doesn't wonder why we aren't together. So she knows it wasn't her fault." "I've already started." He pulled out a folded paper. "The first letter. I wanted you to read it first." Serena read silently, her eyes filling with tears. "Dear daughter, I'm writing this 3 months before you're born, in a therapist's office, trying to figure out how to be a good father when I was such a terrible husband. Your mother is the strongest person I've ever met. She's brilliant, determined, with more courage than I've had in my entire life. I didn't see that because I was too busy looking at myself. I made terrible mistakes. I hurt your mother badly. I lied, stole, betrayed her trust, all because I was scared of not being the most important person in the room. Your mother gave me a second chance I didn't earn. Not to be her husband again. I destroyed that, but to be your father. To be present. To be someone you can be proud of. I'm going to mess up. But I promise you this. I will notice. I will pay attention. I will see you, really see you, in all the ways I failed to see your mother. You are the greatest gift I didn't earn and don't deserve. But I'm going to spend the rest of my life trying to be worthy of you. I love you already. Your father, Damon." "It's good," Serena said quietly, wiping her eyes. "Honest. She'll appreciate that." She folded it carefully. "Add it to the journal." They sat in comfortable silence. Serena returned to her laptop but kept her tone conversational. "How's therapy?" "Hard. Necessary. Last week we discussed why I thought stealing from your trust was justified. And that I told myself you didn't need it because you had me. That I believed what was mine and what was yours was also mine." He met her eyes. "I was wrong about all of it." Serena nodded. "That's more self-awareness than you showed in 10 years of marriage." I've been following the company news. You're doing an incredible job. Thank you. The board pushed back initially, but when quarterly profits came in 30% higher, they got quiet. She smiled. Turns out ethical business is also profitable. Damon winced. I deserved that. You did. But her tone was almost teasing. The baby kicked hard. Serena gasped, pressing both hands to her belly. Can I? Damon hesitated. Serena considered, then nodded. Come here. Damon moved around the table. Serena placed his hand on her belly. The kick came strong against his palm, then another. What might have been an elbow. She's so strong, Damon whispered. She is. I think she's going to be trouble. Good. The world needs more women who cause trouble for men like me. Damon kept his hand there. Serena, I know I've said this, but I need to say it again. I'm sorry. For everything I took. Everything I destroyed. Serena was quiet. I believe you're sorry. I can see you're doing the work. But sorry doesn't fix what's broken. It's a starting point, not a destination. I know. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I just need you to know I see it now. What I had. What I lost. Who you really are. He pulled back. You deserved so much better. Yes, Serena said simply. I did. The honesty should have hurt. Instead, it felt like release. The nursery is finished. Want to see it? It was the first time she'd offered. Damon's heart jumped. I'd love that. The nursery was warm yellows with white trim. A solid wood crib, bookshelves with children's books, a mobile of stars and moons. On the dresser sat a framed ultrasound. That's from last week, Serena said. See her nose. She's sucking her thumb there. Damon couldn't speak. His daughter. Real, alive, nearly ready. I want to be here when she's born. If you'll let me. Serena studied his face. Are you asking as formality, or do you genuinely want to be in the delivery room? Genuinely. I want to be the first person she sees. I want to hold her. I want to be her father from the very first moment. Whatever she saw in his face satisfied her. Okay. But if you're there, you're there. No phones. No business calls. You're present. I will be. I promise. Good. Because she deserves a father who shows up. Who keeps promises. They sat in the nursery, Damon on the floor, Serena in the rocking chair, planning for a future that looked nothing like their wedding day dreams. Damon's phone buzzed. His mother. How's Connecticut? Give Serena my best. Your mother is being civil? Therapy is a family affair. She's working through her own stuff. He typed back, then turned the phone off completely. She wants to meet her granddaughter. When you're ready. We'll see. Not hostile. Another door, slightly ajar. 6 weeks later. The text came at 2:47 a.m. It's time. At the hospital. Don't speed, but don't be slow. Damon made the drive in 90 minutes. He arrived breathless, still in sweatpants, clutching the packed bag. Serena was mid-contraction when he entered, her face tight with pain. Her mother Catherine sat beside her, glaring at Damon with barely concealed hostility. You're here, Serena gasped. I'm here. I'm not leaving. Damon moved to the bedside. What do you need? Hold my hand through the next one. The contraction hit. Serena's grip crushed his hand. He didn't flinch. just breathed with her. "You're doing amazing," he whispered. "So strong. Our daughter is so lucky. Tell me that when I'm not being torn in half," Serena gritted out, but her eyes held humor. Hours blurred, contractions, breathing, encouragement. Then dawn light filtered through the window. "One more push," the doctor said. "Your daughter's almost here." Serena pushed, her face red with effort, and then a cry. High, piercing, perfect. "She's here. Congratulations. You have a healthy baby girl." The nurse placed their daughter on Serena's chest. Tiny, red-faced, furious, and absolutely beautiful. "Oh," Serena breathed, tears streaming. "Hello, sweetheart." Their daughter stopped crying, recognizing her mother's voice. Her tiny hand reached toward Serena's face. "Want to cut the cord, Dad?" the nurse asked. Dad. He was a dad. With shaking hands, Damon cut the cord. 7 pounds, 4 ounces, 20 inches. Perfect APGAR scores. They handed her to Damon. She was so light, so fragile. Dark hair like Serena's. Eyes closed, mouth working. "Hi," Damon whispered, voice breaking. "I'm your dad. I'm going to mess up sometimes, but I'm going to love you forever. That's a promise." His daughter yawned, then settled against his chest like she belonged there. "She needs a name," Serena said from the bed, exhausted and radiant. "What do you think?" "Grace," Serena said softly. "Catherine Blackwell. After my grandmother. Grace. Unearned blessing. It's perfect. Welcome to the world, Gracie." The nurse took Grace for checks, and Damon sat beside Serena's bed. "You were incredible. That was... You're amazing." "I'm exhausted. And starving. I'll find food." He stood, then hesitated. "Thank you. For letting me be here. For this chance. I won't waste it." Serena's expression softened. "I know. You've proven that." She paused. "We're not getting back together, Damon. But we can be good parents together. We can be friends eventually. We can give Grace a childhood where her parents respect each other." It hurt, but it was fair. "I understand. But Serena, I do still love you. Probably always will. Not the controlling way, the way that wants you to be happy, even if that doesn't include me." Serena's eyes filled. "That's the most honest thing you've ever said to me." "I'm learning." Slowly. The nurse returned with Grace, fussing. "Someone's hungry." Serena took their daughter, and Damon watched as she guided Grace to nurse. The moment was intimate, primal, perfect. He felt simultaneously essential and superfluous. But he could protect this. Support it. Honor it. Catherine returned with coffee and breakfast sandwiches, handing one to Damon with a curt nod, acknowledgement, not forgiveness. "She looks like Serena as a baby," Catherine observed. "Same chin." "She's beautiful," Damon said. "She is. Take care of them, Damon. Both of them." "I will. I promise." Grace fell asleep against Serena's chest. Serena's eyes drooped too. "Sleep," Damon said gently. "I'll watch her. You should sleep too." "I will. But right now I just want to watch her. To make sure it's real." Serena smiled sleepily. "It's real. You're really a father. Don't forget that when things get hard." "I won't. I promise." Serena drifted off. Catherine followed. Damon sat in the quiet room, watching his daughter sleep, listening to soft beeps. He pulled out the journal and began the second letter. Dear Grace, you're 3 hours old. Your mother is asleep, exhausted from bringing you into the world. You're sleeping too, perfect and tiny. Today you made me a father, in the real way that matters. The moment I held you, I stopped being the center of my universe. You are. Your mother is a hero. Watching her bring you into the world was humbling. She's going to teach you to be strong. Listen to her. I'm going to work every day to be worthy of you. When I fall short, I'll be honest, apologize, and do better. Welcome to the world, Grace Catherine. It's messy and complicated, but also full of possibility. I love you completely. Dad. Damon closed the journal and looked at his daughter, who'd changed everything. The sun rose higher, painting the room gold, and Damon Blackwell, former CEO, recovering narcissist, work-in-progress father, smiled. Some stories didn't end with romance or everything fixed. Some ended with accountability. Growth. The quiet triumph of showing up. Grace would grow up with two parents who respected each other despite their broken marriage. Who communicated. Who put her first. That wasn't the life Damon had planned. But sitting here, watching over his daughter and the woman who'd been strong enough to tear down his empire and build something better, Damon realized it was the life he needed. The sun climbed higher, and Damon Blackwell finally understood what victory looked like. Not power, not wealth, not control, but this, holding his daughter, earning back trust, becoming someone worthy of the second chance he'd been given. It was enough.
Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. If you enjoyed this story, you're going to love the next one. It's even wilder and more fascinating than you can imagine. So go ahead and click the image on your screen now to watch the next story.